What's that?
How do I get the calculator?
Oh, I don't know, but you're looking at me?
Where it go?
All right, here's what I need you to do. We're gonna do two things. Now, here's the goal. We just want to get, what time is it?
So is it the decimal?
10:35.
All right, so we'll get about 20 minutes. All right, there's no, we're not anticipating any, we're not gonna have any homework tonight, but what we need to do is get through this sheet. It goes into your notes. So we're gonna be working on the computer and on that notes, the guided notes I handed out. We're gonna revisit, how to graph it, and we're gonna revisit how to factor, because they both come up separately in, on the end of course test, on the air test. What I need you to go to is, let's see here. If you go to Algebra 1, if you go to the home page, which I'm trying to go to. And I told them I'll have the quizzes back from tomorrow. Just got to finish up a couple. And then from that review that was due yesterday, I did not get many turned in. If you got that done, turn that in so that I can, we did it on Friday, so I can get that. See where it says Desmos Graphing Calculator? Click on that. Should open up a new tab for you. All right, oh, we already there.
I just followed off what happened.
What about?
For some reason, I haven't found it. Yeah.
Here, copy.
Oh, case great.
I had forgotten. And then Christian, we got to get his by the end of the week. That's 4 days.
Yeah.
So she was.
Now it's 63. Let's check. Actually, no, it might be.
So, for that one. You can. And then, hey, Jordan's over there.
Yes.
Let's look at this.
All right. Chris, you got the calculator up?
Yep.
All right, running, you good? All right, you're gonna have a phone in your hand, mess around. The body slam. I haven't done that in a while.
I'm not good.
I need her to grade this.
Okay, Preston, we good? My first? Third. Okay. Okay, as I said, we want to revisit a couple things to just kind of get you in a better frame for the state test as we move forward through here. So in this case here, we want to go back to factoring. And now on the guided notes, we want to revisit, well, this doesn't say specifically, but we did this earlier. If two things multiply to equal 0, then what must be true? And what must be true?
One of them is 0.
One of them has to be 0. So then A equals 0 or B equals 0. Okay. Now, that first one there, sometimes this will show up in this way. They already have it written as a product. Okay. So they got 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 5. Now here's how we're going to do this. We're going to solve this on your paper, and we're going to show you how to do it on the computer. You've got to be able to do both. Okay. Now, if it's already in parentheses, all we have to do is take each piece and set it equal to 0. Okay, that's all we do. Now I got to solve for the x value. And so add 1 and go ahead and put this down on your notes there. Because we're doing this. Yep, copy this down on your notes. So we get 2x equals 1. Divide by 2. Go ahead and keep it as 1/2. On the other set, subtract 5. And then I get negative 5/3. So I got 2 answers. I got x equals, and I'm going to put the smaller one first, negative 5/3, 1/2. Now, your Desmos calculator is very powerful if you know how to use it. So you gotta, that's why I wanna make sure you go through this. Which one doesn't have it?
Very powerful.
Go through that.
It's the,
What?
it's the.
Is it not? Okay, go ahead and get it out.
I think it might have some.
Well, I'll, get you, do you have your, charger with you?
I do.
Alright, so we'll get,
I think I'll have some.
so I can get you charged for that. Alright, now, how are you gonna graph that? How are you gonna graph that? To make sure it shows, to get it to show up. Okay. Because you go to your Desmos and we wanna graph that to see what's gonna happen there. There you go.
Even in parentheses?
This slash.
Far enough for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, think of this, we wanna know where it equals zero. All of these have an equation, so think of this as y equals 2x minus 1 times 3x plus 5. And go to your Desmos. Okay, and we can type that in there. Let me see if I can do this here. Okay, so you're going here, and y equals, and I got parentheses. Whoops. Let me go back and put y equals parentheses 2x minus 1. Okay, now what it does is it starts graphing whatever you put in there right away, and then other parentheses, it's going to change things into 3x plus 5. What are we looking for? Because you got to know what to look for once you got this on here. And we want to know where it equals 0. What x values will equal 0? It's going to be right there is what we call the x-intercepts. Now it says negative 1.667. So they just rounded off. That's negative 1 2/3. That's the same as negative 5/3. And then here it says 1/2. You got your graph right there to the right. I want you to graph the parabola, sketch it on there, including the key points. You should be able to fit, bless you. Looks like it hits here at negative 5. It looks like about at negative 1/2. Well, negative 0.58. It goes down to negative 7. Okay, draw there and put arrows in there. So draw the graph on that grid there. Okay, and the key points that we're looking for are the x-intercepts. Okay.
Is this available for them to use on every question on the test?
Yes, there's just a little there on that, the top right, when we do some of the practice stuff.
Yeah.
See, yeah, it's for every question. Now, I do want you to bring your calculator with you, because I think you just have a comfort level with this calculator for some things. Okay, whether it be fractions or other things, I would have this available, but you will have this graphing tool available for every problem. Okay. All right, now go to the next one here. Now here's the deal. Like, in theory, you can't just solve them all by graphing and throw your answers down, because it'll say what step is shown for solving by factoring. So you've got to be able to factor. You can't just use the graph the whole time. Okay, so you got to be careful on that. Well, let's factor this one here. The last one, it was already in parentheses. That's already a good part for it. This one is not in parentheses. We got to put it in parentheses. So if I want to factor this one, remember this is where I want two numbers that multiply to get 8 and add to get -6. What are those two numbers? Okay, Joe.
-2 and -4.
-2 and -4. So we're going to factor this into x minus 4 times x minus 2 equals 0. Now you got the two sets of parentheses, right? That's the hard part. Now you say, all right, what will make each set equal to 0? And then you set each one equal to 0. I get plus 4. So I get x equals 4. I add 2. I get x equals 2. It gives me the two numbers 2, 4. Okay, now we're going to graph. So hopefully, how is that going to show up? Where's that 2 and that 4 going to show up on the graph? Have you figured that part out yet? Well, we're going to grab it here, but here's what I want you to know is that is where our graph, whoops, hold on, missed it, will hit the x-axis. So you need to know that relationship. As long as we did the first part right. Now go ahead and go to Desmos and graph y equals x squared minus 6x plus 8. And then graph the rest of it on your grid. Okay, we should know the couple key points, but then be able to graph the whole thing.
Supposed to get 2 after this.
How do we get the, how do we square it, yeah?
Oh, yeah, you
Okay,
you hit shift and then the 6, right?
all right. So go to y equals x and just hit, see where it says a squared? Just hit that. It just means it's going to put a squared on whatever you had before that. Under here.
All I did was hit 6 and
Then
We hit shift 6 and it worked.
you can do that as well. You can do that as well. And then x squared minus 6x plus 8.
How do you get the keyboard?
Sometimes you might have to go down a little bit. It's not shown.
Yep.
Did you get it? All right. I think it's below the screen. Okay. So now you're going to plot this. Couple key points. What's it hitting? It looks like it hits at 8.
Teachers, I apologize for the interruption. This message is for all students and teachers. The bills today are taking on a little bit different tone. No need to be worried. There is not an emergency. Nobody let the UPS man in. We're all good. So just continue on your day. We appreciate everybody's patience this morning. First day of testing. We got it done. Great job, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, so plot those points, those key points, draw that in there. And so make sure you know that this point right here, x equals 2, x equals 4. That's what we're looking for. So if you would graph it, solve it by graphing, where it hits the x-axis is where it's going to be, that's what it's going to be the answer. Okay, that's what's going to be the answer. All right, now, okay, let's go. All right, for this one here, what should we do first to make this a little bit easier? We should subtract 21, set it equal to 0. So subtract 21. You get x squared plus 4x minus 21. Let's graph this one first. So go ahead and graph it on your Desmos and then transfer it to your paper.
Okay.
So go to Desmos. And put in y equals x squared. What's the next one? Minus 4x?
Hey. Is your second period class?
This is my second period. Okay. Plus 4x plus 4x minus 21. Whoops. Okay, so you're gonna plot those points. All right, now we're better.
I didn't get it. Never mind. Yeah, I didn't get it.
You didn't get it, Maya?
Oh, shoot, I didn't get it right.
Change your screen. Be able to see it. Yeah.
Put it in exactly how it's supposed to stop.
Oh my God.
God, I'm lost.
Yes. This is what color.
No.
So what's it hit at? -7 and 3? No?
Yeah.
Where's it hit the x-axis at? Okay, those are your answers.
It's -7, so thanks for being awesome.
Okay?
I only should have been.
No, where are you at? Okay.
Where's it hit the, what's the y-intercept at? All right, -21. So you have to go down there to -21. Did you get called away, Mr. Schler?
No, I just messed up.
Oh.
As usual.
All right, so we know the answer. If you graph it, that's the answer. Now, how do we do it factoring? You think what multiplies to -21 and adds to 4? That's going to be x plus 7 times x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 7 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. We get -7. We get +3. Okay, so got to be interchangeable on how you graph these. You need to be able to figure out how you do them. Either graphing it or using factoring. Yeah. What's that? Well, here's the only thing we're really concerned about. But I just want to show you the whole graph. Okay. All right, let's get this last one. Let's finish this last one. Bless you. All right, flip it over. And let's do number 3 here. Let's factor it first and then we'll graph it. Okay, when there's a number for that x squared, that changes things a little bit. What do we have to do? No, that's for completing the square.
Everything.
This is where you multiply 2 times -7, this one times this one, and I look for 2 numbers that multiply to equal -14 and add together to get -5. This is because this is factoring, so you gotta understand like the direction.
2 and -7.
2 and -7. And this is where we take this, we write 2x squared minus 7x plus 2x minus 7 equals 0. And then we factor by grouping. Now for what I have, what will go into 2x squared and 7x? Just an x. And so I factor that out, I get 2x minus 7. Plus, the only thing they have in common is a 1, and this is the one time where we do a GCF of 1. All right, now what does that become? x plus 1 times 2x minus 7. And so at this point, we'll say x plus 1 equals 0. 2x minus 7 equals 0. And then solve those.
Scroll up a little bit.
Okay.
Get stuff on the room.
Just go get the test from Audrey.
Okay.
Okay, so what do we get for our answers? We get x equals, subtract 1, we get x equals negative 1. Add 7, we get 2x equals 7. X equals 7 halves or 3 1/2. All right, we'll finish graphing this tomorrow. Oh, hey, it's back to normal. That's your bell. No homework.
Yeah, I'm liking this no homework stuff, you know?
Well, don't get too used to it.
It's getting kind of nice, you know? Yeah, we should do this every night. I like this late start no homework stuff.
I bet you do.
It's gonna be a daily thing.